Hey, how's it going, guys? Ancient Rune here, back with another Borderlands 3 build video, and today I'll be going over my non-DLC Zane build called 3 Tree Grenades. This build focuses all about grenades with a little bit of other non-gun stuff on the side, using tons of damage formula and taking advantage of Executor's crit and cryo damage, as well as Zane's insane grenade regen to get the most damage possible. If you own DLC 1, the Seeing Dead can make this build a little bit better, and how that happens I will explain later. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The save file will be found in my Discord, which is linked down below, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, and first off, we're going to have the Zepsis Eruption. This gives a gear debuff, which will just boost all of our damage, especially grenades, and with the drone animation where you point to an enemy, that will interrupt the reload, which will then make you be able to spam this reload. You cannot melee cancel this reload. I mean, you kind of can, but it won't focus on enemies that are already debuffed, so you'd have to just swap away into it to spam it otherwise, which isn't a terrible way to do it, but using the drone way is faster. We use terror damage and fire rate anointment on here to give us some V1 damage. We do have some from Sparkplug, but having it here is just even better. And then we have an Unforgiven. You want this with the maximum crit damage. These grenades will benefit from this card crit if the grenade crits. Not all grenades can naturally crit, but the grenades that can crit, you have the Unforgiven here. You can do some debuff with the Zepsis and then swap to the Unforgiven and then deal insane crit damage, and this is how you deal the maximum damage here, but definitely not needed. If you have some worse gear, maybe you might need to, but I doubt it. Then we have a crit here. This is really just fight for your life weapon. In general, with fight for your life, you can also just use drones. So we do have the Boomstay augment, which will help us with having drone do some damage, which is the first fight for your life option. But if that doesn't work, then you can use the terminal crit as the go-to fight for your life gun. And then I have a face puncher here. This is for having a ranged way to stack terror. We have terror already here on the shield, so you can just use a terror ammo regen on here. I have clone ammo regen because the OG like full DLC build has the digiclone ammo regen, but on this one you just want to use terror ammo regen. And times 14 and times 7 work fine. Times 14 will stack quicker but also use more ammo, but with ammo regen it shouldn't matter as much. And then we use a red suit. This is to help us with the Zepsis Eruption hurting us. We are immune to splash but not dots, and the Zepsis can still hurt us, so we have the red suit to help us here. You could also use a band of Sidorak. You could also use a frozen heart, but I wouldn't really recommend it on here. Really just a band of Sidorak and the red suit, maybe a transformer as well. And for the anointment, we will be using the melee applied terror. We're using Sparkplug here, and slide, it gets slide damage, and slide counts for stacking melee terror, so we have that keeping it up pretty much at all times for us, as well as just the Sparkplug doing some good damage. And then for the class mod here, we have the Executor. The Executor grants us crit damage and a hitting cryo damage boost, which is really nice for this build. And the top rolls don't really matter. Getting points of good misfortune is nice, but not needed at all. The passives you're going to look out for is splash damage and grenade damage. You'll also have it on the artifact as well, but getting it up here is really nice. Splash damage radius is really good as well, but probably not as needed. You can also get crit damage and Hyperion, Jacob's crit damage if you're using the Unforgiven. There's no COV crit damage, unfortunately, but for the Unforgiven, it'll work great. And then you can also get action skill damage or action skill cooldown rate. That'll just help. Action skill damage will help drone damage. And then the action skill cooldown rate just helps with drone cooldown. And then just some DLC class mods. We have the Seeing Dead and the Conductor. Executor will be peak damage, but the Conductor can give a shock bonus element, which is nice. It's not much. It'll only be up to 50% since we are using one action skill only, so you only have the 50% because you got to throw those grenades. And then the Seeing Dead can be good if you use a clone. This is really the only time I'd use the Seeing Dead. It does help keep kill skills up, but you've got drone and spark plug also killing, which means the kill skills are usually pretty good. But if I ever want to use Digiclone, if I own the Seeing Dead, then you would want to use Digiclone, and it would definitely be better here. And then the artifact, we use a Spark Plug Victory Rush. Since we have this terror damage and fire rate anointment, the Victory Rush matters less probably than the bottom rolls and the Spark Plug. Spark Plug just helps keep the terror up. Technically, you can just slam in a group of enemies and it can stack terror, but it's a lot less effective, and Spark Plug keeps it up. So it's just a lot of great damage. It can crit if it hits crit spots, so it benefits from Executor as well. It's a lot better to just have the terror damage and fire rate. But for the passives, you're going to look out for grenade damage and area of effect damage. I have cryo damage just because it's what you really want, but the grenade damage and area effect damage are the most important things here. All right, and then for the big damage dealer, the grenades, I like to use the Lightspeed, but there's plenty of grenades you can use. Here I have grenade damage is increased while action skill is active. This is actually conditional damage, or V2 damage. This is not grenade damage like on here, so this is very impactful because we don't have it anywhere else. If you had 150 over 90, it would be additive with that, but we don't use that here as we have a lot of damage sources going, so having enemies above 90% is not usually happening here, so having this is really important. I like to use cryo for mobbing, just really good for freezing, and also just because we get some great cryo boosts. You can also use corrosive or just kind of element match. There's also some other grenades you can use. The triple sticky longbow is the best damage dealer for the bossing. Stick it on an enemy and it will double dip a lot of the bonuses. It does not double dip splash damage, I believe, but it does double dip a lot of other. Recurring Hex is fun. I find it a lot better in lower tier content. You also have the Fish Slap here, so you could go like a static charge, spark plug static charge with some melee, because the Fish Slap does not get melee boost or grenade boost, it only gets melee boost, but it is splash, so you have that going, and that is really good here. And then you have the gas call. You can go Roided or Vindicator. Both have their uses. Even though Roided is missing a part, it does have higher base damage, so it is good for consistency. Either works. It does not have an anointment, so you do lose that, but the gas call is just really strong anyways, so it doesn't really matter too much. I do have the Hunter Seeker on here, but it does not benefit from grenade damage, or at least the grenades technically do, and when they impact an enemy, they will, but the bullets it shoots out counts as a gun. Does not get gun damage, but it will get like crit damage, and so that can be nice, but not really what I would use on this build, but it does exist. And there's plenty of other grenades out there to try. Then for the skill tree, we're going down all the way to Death Follows Close here, just to boost our kill skills, especially with Executor and then our grenade regen kill skill. Here, first off, I have Violent Momentum, really just because why not? Get some gun damage. It also boosts our Deceptive Eruption projectiles, which will then go into Salvation, which just kind of helps there. And so you have that going. Cold War, because we're swapping a lot between the Deceptive Eruption and Unforgiven. You don't have to, but it is really nice and fun. It makes it more interactive. You have Violent Speed here, which is just more movement speed, which is really good for survivability, and also goes into Violent Momentum for the Salvation stuff. Drone Delivery, so drone can also throw grenade. This counts as your grenade. Seeing Red, just so when we activate our drone, we have a stack of kill skills going. Only 2 points here from our class mod. None of these three matter for a non-gun build. 3 in Good Misfortune to get better kill skill duration returned. Just because we're killing less means that having 3 Good Misfortune is really nice. Death Follows Close for increased kill skill bonus and kill skill duration. For the red tree, we're getting some Trick of the Light. Drone always gets Trick of the Light active. We're not really drawing any aggro, so this is more for drone, but we're down here anyways, and nothing in green tree really helps, and nothing in blue tree, so may as well get your own some extra damage here. We got borrowed time to increase our sentinel duration, which is very important. We have Donnybrook just for some nice health regen. Duct tape mod, if you happen to shoot your gun, you'll have that going. Also, nothing else really matters here. And then pocketful grenades, max that out for 21% grenade regen per second. Stacks twice to be 41% grenade regen per second. Some supersonic man, just for some nice movement speed, and then trick of the light for that bonus damage. And then we have green tree here, getting Comco collected to help keep our action skill refreshing. We have ready for action with the shield recharge rate, rise to the occasion for some health regen survivability, brain freeze for if our grenades and our spark plug are critting, we could freeze them. We have adrenaline going just for some nice cooldown, only 1 point in best serve cold because why not. Really expensive jacket is there to decrease our dot duration by half, which is really nice for survivability. Refreshment, this will help our grenades do some healing for us, and just literally anything technically. It will, when enemies are frozen, any sort of damage will heal us. And then Comco collected to refresh our action skill to hopefully have full action skill uptime. And then what you can do with Seeing Dead is have drone going with, or clone going with spamming fractal frags. You'd kind of just take points out of duct tape mod here and some points into Death Falls Close, or you can take points out of Comco Collected. So you do have Seeing Dead activating Good Misfortune, but it still isn't permanent action skill uptime. So you just take points out of one of the two, and then you get Fractal Frags, Quick Breather, Old U, Boom Enhance, and then possibly Double Barrel. You'd want to probably give Clone an Unforgiven. I think Clone might get the bonus. I don't remember if it was confirmed or not. So you could have that going, and that would be nice. As well as maxing out Trick of the Light. Reloads count as a gun from the Eruption, so they should proc Seeing Dead effect, which should help enough with having Fractal Frags activate. And then for the action skill, we got Drone going, really good at keeping our action skill up. Static Field, Drain Shield is just really good for keeping up our shields for Comco Collected. Bad Dose is nice, but doesn't really help here. And then we got Boomstick here just for Drone to do some damage, and also a source up fight for your life. Then if you were to go clone, you'd probably want to get Which One's Real to draw aggro, and then Doppelbanger. If you have Which One's Real going with drawing aggro, and especially clone, then you can gain some damage from Trick of the Light, as you will not be targeted as much. And then Zane doesn't need it, but you can go Mayhem 10 and get more than OK Boomer. Gain some increased grenade damage, and this grenade damage is really nice bonus. As well as getting more grenades dropped, but because of Zane's insane grenade regen, we don't really need it, and also it just means messing with Mayhem modifiers. I hope you guys enjoyed the build video. This build ends up being like a second non-gun build version that focuses more on the grenade side instead of a second action skill. Lightspeed is definitely my go-to Zane grenade in general for damage, but there are so many other options. I've not messed with all the grenades in base game, so there could still be some more viable grenades, and you'll just have to experiment. Again, you can find the save file in my Discord, which is linked down below, as well as my other socials. If you haven't, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.